Today, I want to talk to you about something deeply personal yet universal: the power to rebuild yourself. Life, as we all know, is not a straight path. It's a journey filled with twists, turns, and sometimes unexpected collapse. But it is in those moments of adversity, those times when we feel broken, that we are gifted with an opportunity to rebuild, to grow, and to redefine who we are. Rebuilding yourself begins with a single, essential step: acknowledging the fall. This may seem simple, but it's one of the hardest things to do because it requires a deep level of honesty and vulnerability. When something in life breaks, whether it's a relationship, a career, a dream, or even your sense of self, it's tempting to deny the reality of what's happened. Denial feels safe, like a temporary shelter from the storm. But real change, real growth cannot begin until you face the truth. To acknowledge the fall is to confront what has gone wrong and accept that something needs to change. This process is uncomfortable and often painful because it brings you face to face with your fears, insecurities, and perhaps even a sense of failure. Society often tells us that admitting we're struggling is a sign of weakness. We are taught to put on a brave face, to keep it together at all costs, even when we feel like everything is falling apart inside. But the truth is that there's immense strength in acknowledging that you've hit a low point. It takes courage to stop pretending and say, this is where I am, and it's not where I want to. In this moment of reckoning, it's important to be kind to yourself. Self-compassion is a critical part of the process because rebuilding begins not with judgment, but with understanding. Often we are our own harshest critics, replaying our mistakes in a loop or blaming ourselves for circumstances beyond our control. While it's natural to reflect on what led to the fall, it's equally important to recognize that everyone stumbles. Life is unpredictable, and no one gets through without facing some kind of setback. What matters is not that you fell, but what you choose to do next. Acknowledging the fall also means giving yourself the space to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to grieve for what was lost or to feel anger, disappointment, or frustration. These emotions are valid and need to be processed, not ignored or buried. When you suppress your feelings, they don't disappear, they linger, influencing your thoughts and actions in ways you may not even realize. By facing your emotions head-on, you begin to clear the way for healing. This emotional clarity is what allows you to start rebuilding on a foundation of truth rather than illusion. Another critical aspect of acknowledging the fall is identifying the lessons it holds. Every setback, no matter how painful, carries with it the seeds of wisdom. Perhaps it's a chance to understand more about your own patterns of behavior, to recognize where you might have ignored warning signs, or to see the areas where you need to grow. This doesn't mean blaming yourself or others, but rather approaching the situation with curiosity and a willingness to learn. The fall can teach you more about your strengths, your resilience, and what truly matters to you. Acknowledging the fall also empowers you to let go of what no longer serves you. Sometimes we hold on to ideas, relationships, or expectations that keep us stuck. We cling to what was even when it's clear that it's no longer right for us, because letting go feels like losing control. But in truth, letting go is an act of freedom. It allows you to release the weight of the past so you can move forward unencumbered. When you acknowledge the fall, you give yourself permission to let go and start anew. This process of acknowledgement is not something you have to do alone. In fact, sharing your experience with someone you trust can be incredibly healing. Whether it's a friend, family member, or a therapist, opening up to someone who listens without judgment can help you gain perspective and feel supported. Sometimes just saying the words out loud, I'm struggling, or I need help, can be the first step toward rebuilding. It reminds you that you're not alone and that it's okay to lean on others when you need to. Ultimately, acknowledging the fall is not about dwelling on what went wrong, but about accepting where you are so you can take the first step toward where you want to be. It's an act of bravery and a declaration of hope. It's saying, yes, I've fallen, but I'm not staying down. This mindset is the foundation upon which all rebuilding begins, setting the stage for growth, transformation, and the discovery of a stronger, more authentic version of you. Defining your blueprint is an essential part of rebuilding yourself. It involves envisioning the life you want to create and setting the foundation for your transformation. Without a clear sense of direction, it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed by the prospect of change. A blueprint provides clarity and purpose, serving as a guide to help you navigate the rebuilding process. It's not just about deciding what you want. It's about identifying the core values and principles that will shape your decisions and actions moving forward. The first step in defining your blueprint is to reflect on what truly matters to you. This requires deep self-awareness and honesty. In the rush of everyday life, we often lose sight of our priorities, caught up in what we think we should do or what others expect of us. Rebuilding yourself is an opportunity to strip away those external pressures and reconnect with your own desires and values. Ask yourself meaningful questions. What brings me joy? What gives my life meaning? What kind of person do I want to be? These questions help you uncover your authentic self and lay the foundation for your new path. Once you have a sense of what matters most, it's important to translate those insights into actionable goals. A blueprint isn't just a vague idea of what you want, it's a detailed plan that outlines how you'll get there. I think of it as a roadmap, with each step carefully thought out and aligned with your larger vision. For example, if you've realized that meaningful relationships are a priority, your blueprint might include specific steps to nurture existing connections or build new ones. If personal growth is a focus, your plan might involve pursuing education, developing new skills, or adopting habits that promote self-improvement. Clarity in your blueprint also requires understanding what you need to let go of. Sometimes the life we want to build is incompatible with the patterns, beliefs, or relationships we currently have. Defining your blueprint involves making tough decisions about what no longer aligns with your values and goals. This might mean leaving behind toxic environments, breaking unhelpful habits, or shifting your mindset. Letting go can be difficult, but it's a necessary part of creating space for new possibility. Defining your blueprint also requires flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and no plan unfolds exactly as expected. While it's important to have a clear vision, it's equally important to remain open to change and adapt as needed. A rigid plan can become a source of frustration if things don't go as planned, but a flexible blueprint allows you to navigate setbacks and seize unexpected opportunities. Think of your blueprint as a living document, something you can revisit and revise as you grow and gain new insight. Another important element of defining your blueprint is aligning it with your strengths and passions. Rebuilding yourself isn't about trying to become someone you're not. It's about becoming the best version of who you already are. Take stock of your unique abilities, talents, and interests, and consider how they can contribute to your vision. When your blueprint is rooted in your strengths, it becomes more sustainable and fulfilling because you're building a life that feels authentic and aligned with your true self. Your blueprint should also include a focus on small, incremental steps. Grand visions can be inspiring, but they can also feel overwhelming if they seem too far out of reach. Break your goals down into manageable actions that you can take on a daily or weekly basis. Each small step brings you closer to your larger vision and helps you build momentum. Over time, these small actions compound into significant progress, reinforcing your sense of purpose and motivation. It's also important to recognize that your blueprint is deeply personal. What works for someone else may not work for you, and that's okay. Rebuilding yourself is not about conforming to external standards or expectations. It's about creating a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling to you. Trust your instincts and listen to your inner voice as you define your path. This is your journey, and you have the power to shape it in a way that reflects your unique values and aspirations. As you work on defining your blueprint, remember that the process itself is a form of growth. It requires introspection, creativity, and courage to envision a new way forward. Each step you take in clarifying your vision strengthens your sense of purpose and reinforces your commitment to the rebuilding process. A well-defined blueprint becomes a source of inspiration and resilience, helping you stay focused and motivated as you navigate the challenges and opportunities that come your way. It's the framework for the life you're creating, grounded in your deepest values and guided by your most authentic self. Rebuilding yourself is a process that requires patience, persistence, and commitment, and it is achieved by taking small, consistent steps. Often, when faced with the task of rebuilding, the enormity of the journey can feel overwhelming. The vision of the person you want to become, or the life you want to create, may seem so far away that it paralyzes you into inaction. However, the key to progress lies not in giant leaps, but in the accumulation of small, deliberate actions taken consistently over time. These steps, though they may seem insignificant in the moment, are the building blocks of transformation. The first step in this process is identifying what the smallest possible action is that you can take to move forward. When you think about your goals or the areas of your life that you want to improve, it's easy to get caught up in the end result. But the journey to that destination begins with one small act. If you want to regain physical health, it could be as simple as committing to a 5-minute walk each day. If you're rebuilding your career, it might mean updating your resume or researching new opportunities for 15 minutes a day. These small actions might seem trivial compared to the larger vision, but they are the sparks that ignite momentum. Momentum is a crucial element in rebuilding yourself. Each small step builds confidence and reinforces a sense of progress, no matter how minor it may seem. This sense of accomplishment fuels your motivation, making it easier to take the next step. Over time, these small steps compound, leading to significant changes that wouldn't have been possible without that initial act of courage and consistency. The key is to stay focused on the process rather than becoming overwhelmed by the larger goal. Trust that the cumulative effect of your efforts will carry you forward. Consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not enough to take one step and stop. You must continue to show up every day, even when progress feels slow or invisible. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when the weight of your circumstances makes it tempting to give up. These are the moments when consistency matters most. It's the ability to keep going, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, that ultimately separates success from stagnation. Rebuilding yourself isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. One of the most powerful aspects of taking small, consistent steps is that it helps you build habits. Habits are the foundation of lasting change because they transform actions that require conscious effort into automatic behavior. When you repeat a small action often enough, it becomes part of your routine. Over time, these habits shape your identity. For example, if you consistently write a few paragraphs each day, you start to see yourself as a writer. If you make a habit of practicing gratitude, you begin to embody a more positive and appreciative mindset. The person you want to become is not created in a single moment of inspiration, but through the habits you cultivate every day. Another benefit of focusing on small, consistent steps is that it reduces the fear of failure. Big goals can feel intimidating because they carry the risk of falling short, but when you break your journey into smaller pieces, each step feels manageable and less daunting. Even if you stumble along the way, the stakes of a single misstep are low, and it's easier to recover and keep moving forward. This approach fosters resilience, allowing you to learn from setbacks without losing momentum. It's also important to celebrate the small victories along the way. When you're focused on a long-term goal, it's easy to overlook the progress you're making in the present. Take time to acknowledge and appreciate each step you take, no matter how small. These moments of celebration reinforce your commitment and remind you that every effort counts. They also help you stay connected to your why, the deeper purpose that drives your journey of rebuilding. Rebuilding yourself through small, consistent steps also creates a ripple effect in other areas of your life. As you make progress in one area, the confidence and discipline you develop often spill over into other aspects of your journey. For example, the habit of exercising regularly might lead to improvements in your mental health, relationships, and overall energy levels. This interconnectedness highlights the power of incremental change and the ways in which even the smallest actions can create meaningful transformation. Ultimately, the beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. You don't need to have everything figured out at once, nor do you need to make dramatic changes overnight. All you need is the willingness to take that first step and the commitment to keep going, one day at a time. With each small, consistent action, you are rebuilding not just your circumstances, but your confidence, your habits, and your belief in your ability to create the life you desire. Embracing your scars is a vital part of rebuilding yourself. When you experience hardship, loss, or failure, it's natural to feel like the marks left behind are reminders of pain or imperfection. But scars are much more than that. They are a testament to your strength, resilience, and ability to endure. Instead of hiding them or feeling ashamed of them, embracing your scars allows you to honor your journey and recognize the person you have become through adversity. Scars, whether physical or emotional, tell a story. They are the visible evidence of a moment in your life when you faced difficulty and came out on the other side. These marks are not a sign of weakness, but of survival. They show that no matter how tough the experience was, you found a way to endure. Each scar represents a chapter of your story, one that shaped you into the person you are today. When you view your scars as symbols of resilience, they become sources of pride rather than shame. One of the most empowering aspects of embracing your scars is the realization that they do not define you. They are a part of your story, but they are not the entirety of who you are. Scars are evidence of something that happened to you, but they do not dictate your future. By accepting them as part of your journey, you take away their power to limit you. Instead of focusing on what you've lost or how you were hurt, you can focus on what you've gained, whether it's strength, wisdom, or a new perspective. This process of acceptance is not always easy. Society often places a high value on perfection, encouraging people to hide their flaws or imperfections. This pressure can make it tempting to conceal your scars, whether they're visible or internal. But when you embrace your scars, you challenge this narrative. You show that true strength lies not in appearing flawless, but in being authentic, It's in saying, this is who I am, scars and all, and I am proud of the person I've become. This authenticity can inspire others to embrace their own scars, creating a ripple effect of empowerment. Embracing your scars also means allowing yourself to heal. Healing is not about erasing the past or pretending it didn't happen. It's about making peace with it and finding a way to move forward. Scars remind you that healing is possible, even after the deepest wound. They are proof that time, effort, and self-care can mend even the most painful experiences. When you acknowledge your scars, you give yourself permission to heal fully rather than staying stuck in the pain of the past. There is also a profound beauty in the uniqueness of your scars. Just as no two people have the same fingerprints, no two people have the same scars. They are a unique part of your identity, reflecting your individual journey. Your scars differentiate you and make you human. Embracing them is an act of self-love, a way of saying that you accept every part of yourself, even the parts that carry pain. This self-acceptance is a powerful foundation for rebuilding, as it allows you to move forward without being weighed down by self-criticism or regret. Scars also have a way of connecting people. When you share your story, including the scars that came with it, you create an opportunity for others to relate to you on a deeper level. Everyone has scars of their own, and by being open about yours, you invite others to share theirs. This vulnerability fosters empathy and strengthens relationships. It reminds people that they are not alone in their struggles and that healing and growth are possible for everyone. Another important aspect of embracing your scars is recognizing the lessons they bring. Every scar carries a story, and every story holds wisdom. Maybe you learned about your own resilience, the importance of setting boundaries, or the value of leaning on others for support. These lessons are gifts that come from even the most painful experiences. By embracing your scars, you honor the growth and learning that came from those moments. Finally, scars can become a source of strength and motivation. When you look at them, you are reminded of what you've already overcome. They are proof that you have faced challenges before and that you are capable of facing them again. This perspective can give you the courage to tackle new obstacles and continue rebuilding yourself, knowing that you have the strength to persevere. In embracing your scars, you transform them from symbols of pain into symbols of power. They become reminders of your resilience, authenticity, and capacity for growth. Instead of hiding them, you wear them with pride, knowing that they are part of the unique and extraordinary story of your life. Through this acceptance, you not only heal, but also gain the strength to continue your journey wiser and stronger than before. Rebuilding yourself is a deeply personal journey, but it doesn't mean you have to walk the path alone. Seeking support is one of the most powerful steps you can take, yet it is often one of the most difficult. Many people feel hesitant to reach out, believing that asking for help is a sign of weakness, or that they must face their struggles independently. However, seeking support is not an admission of failure. It is an act of strength, humility, and self-awareness. It shows that you understand the value of connection and the impact others can have on your growth and healing. When you reach out for support, you give others the opportunity to be there for you. Humans are inherently social creatures, and connection is a fundamental part of who we are. In times of difficulty, leaning on others can provide a sense of comfort and grounding. Whether it's a friend, family member, mentor, or professional counselor, sharing your thoughts and feelings with someone you trust can lighten the emotional burden you're carrying. Simply being heard and validated by another person can be deeply healing, reminding you that you are not alone and that your experiences matter. Support is not just about emotional encouragement, it also provides perspective. When you are caught up in the struggle of rebuilding, it can be hard to see beyond the immediate challenges. Others, especially those who care about you, can offer fresh insights, ideas, and solutions that you may not have considered. Their perspective can help you see your situation from a different angle, opening up new possibilities and paths forward. This doesn't mean you have to accept every piece of advice you're given, but being open to input can lead to breakthroughs that propel your journey forward. Additionally, seeking support fosters accountability. When you share your goals or struggles with someone else, you create a sense of responsibility to follow through. Knowing that someone is rooting for you or checking in on your progress can serve as a powerful motivator. This accountability doesn't have to feel like pressure. Instead, it can be a source of encouragement and a reminder that others believe in your ability to succeed. Sometimes simply knowing that someone else cares about your journey can make all the difference. Support can take many forms, and it's important to recognize that different people in your life may fulfill different roles. A close friend might offer a listening ear and emotional understanding, while a mentor or coach might provide practical guidance and tools for growth. A therapist or counselor can help you work through deep-seated emotions or patterns that might be holding you back. Surrounding yourself with a diverse support network ensures that you have access to the right kind of help when you need it. It's also worth noting that seeking support isn't always about receiving, it's about creating a mutual exchange. When you open up to others, you often find that they too are dealing with challenges of their own. Sharing your journey can encourage them to share theirs, creating a bond of empathy and solidarity. This exchange can be profoundly empowering for both parties, reinforcing the idea that struggles are universal and that everyone benefits from connection and understanding. While seeking support is crucial, it's equally important to choose your support system wisely. Not everyone will have the capacity or the mindset to offer the kind of help you need. It's okay to set boundaries and prioritize relationships that uplift and empower you. Look for people who listen without judgment, who respect your choices, and who encourage you to grow. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive individuals can make a world of difference in your rebuilding process. At times, seeking support might mean stepping out of your comfort zone. It could involve joining a support group, attending workshops, or engaging with a community of like-minded individuals. These spaces can provide a sense of belonging and the opportunity to learn from others who have faced similar challenges. They remind you that your journey, while uniquely yours, is part of a larger human experience. Seeing others who have rebuilt their lives can inspire hope and confidence in your own ability to do the same. It's important to remember that seeking support is not a one-time act. Rebuilding yourself is an ongoing process, and your need for connection and guidance may ebb and flow over time. Allow yourself the freedom to reach out whenever you feel the need, without judgment or hesitation. There is no shame in asking for help. In fact, it is one of the most courageous and compassionate things you can do for yourself. In seeking support, you are not only taking care of yourself, but also acknowledging the power of relationships in shaping our lives. You remind yourself that strength is not about doing it all alone, but about knowing when to lean on others. This openness and willingness to connect can transform your rebuilding journey, providing the encouragement, insight, and companionship you need to rise stronger than before. Practicing gratitude is a transformative element in the journey of rebuilding yourself. When life has brought challenges or setbacks, it's easy to focus on what has gone wrong, what you've lost, or what feels incomplete. Gratitude shifts this perspective. It is the deliberate act of recognizing and appreciating the good that still exists, no matter how small or overshadowed it may seem. This mindset doesn't ignore difficulties, but reframes them, helping you to find light even in the darkest moment. By practicing gratitude, you cultivate resilience, hope, and a positive foundation for growth. Gratitude is not just about acknowledging external blessings. It begins with a shift in how you perceive your life. It invites you to focus on abundance rather than lack. Instead of dwelling on what you don't have, gratitude directs your attention to what you do have. This shift is powerful because it changes your emotional and mental state. When you focus on the positives, your brain begins to notice more of them, creating a reinforcing cycle of optimism. This doesn't mean denying your struggles. It means choosing to see beyond them, to recognize that even amidst hardship, there are things worth appreciating. In the process of rebuilding yourself, gratitude can serve as a powerful grounding force. When you face challenges, it's natural to feel unsteady or uncertain about your path. Gratitude brings you back to the present moment, reminding you of the stability and beauty that already exist in your life. Perhaps it's the support of a friend, the lessons learned from a setback, or even the strength you've shown in navigating adversity. By focusing on these positives, you anchor yourself in a sense of stability, making it easier to face the uncertainties of rebuilding with confidence. Gratitude also enhances your emotional resilience. Life's challenges can be overwhelming, but gratitude provides a buffer against negativity. When you cultivate a grateful mindset, you become more adept at finding silver linings and recognizing the growth opportunities in difficult situations. For example, a personal failure might initially feel like a defeat, but through gratitude, you can acknowledge the lessons it taught you or the new doors it opened. This perspective doesn't erase the pain, but helps you integrate it into a narrative of growth and self-discovery. Moreover, practicing gratitude strengthens relationships, an essential aspect of rebuilding yourself. When you express appreciation for the people in your life, you nurture those connections. Gratitude fosters empathy and understanding, deepening your bonds with others. It can be as simple as thanking a friend for their support, acknowledging a family member's kindness, or appreciating the effort of a colleague. These acts of gratitude create a ripple effect, encouraging those around you to feel valued and to reciprocate that positive energy. In this way, Gratitude becomes a bridge, strengthening the social connections that support your rebuilding journey. Gratitude also changes the way you view yourself. When you practice gratitude, you start to recognize and appreciate your own strengths, accomplishments, and growth. Rebuilding yourself often involves confronting self-doubt or feelings of inadequacy. Gratitude helps counteract these feelings by reminding you of what you have already achieved and the qualities that make you capable of moving forward. It's a form of self-compassion, a way of acknowledging that, despite challenges, you have much to be proud of and thankful for within yourself. Incorporating gratitude into your daily life doesn't require grand gestures or significant effort. It's about consistency and mindfulness. Start by identifying 3 things each day that you're grateful for. These can be as simple as a kind word from a stranger, the warmth of sunlight, or a moment of peace in your day. Write them down or take a moment to reflect on them. This practice trains your mind to seek out the positives and reinforces the habit of gratitude. Gratitude also thrives in action. Beyond acknowledging what you're grateful for, consider how you can give back or contribute to the world around you. Acts of kindness, generosity, or service are natural extensions of a grateful heart. When you give back, you not only make a positive impact on others, but also deepen your sense of gratitude for the ability to make a difference. This creates a cycle of positivity where gratitude inspires action and action reinforces gratitude. Scientific research underscores the benefits of gratitude, showing that it can improve mental health, enhance well-being, and even boost physical health. When you practice gratitude regularly, you reduce stress, increase happiness, and strengthen your overall sense of purpose. These benefits are particularly valuable in the rebuilding process where maintaining a positive outlook and emotional resilience are critical. Gratitude is not about denying the difficulties of your journey. It's about balancing them with recognition of the good that exists alongside them. It's a choice to see the world and yourself through a lens of abundance, hope, and appreciation. As you rebuild, gratitude becomes both a tool and a companion, helping you to navigate challenges, find joy in the process, and create a life that reflects not just recovery, but growth and fulfillment.